sure, but
Okay, no worries. I mean, there's still time for him to join. The president-elect sessions are at 12:30. And then the PRO, Linda, is Linda with us? And Leforce? Not, we'll just check the cameras later on. And I saw Steve here, and we'll see if Danny joins us. But for now, Leila, the 4 candidates that we need for this meeting is here. Colleagues, it's 11:03. I'd like to start the meeting at 11:05, please, now that we've confirmed the 4 candidates are present for this debate.
yes, I think that's good.
Hi there, Madam President.
Yes, Teresa?
Danny's trying to connect.
Okay, no worries. Can somebody help him? I'm sure he's got the connection details. Otherwise, Anne-Marie, if you...
He's in the waiting room.
Is he in the waiting room? All right.
I don't know. I said Anne-Marie will see that.
Oh, okay.
No, the waiting room is currently empty, but as they come in, we will let them in.
Sure. Look, Danny's first session is at 12:30. So he's got a bit of time to join us. It would be great to have many people here. Oh, let me just check in terms of the panelists, which I didn't check before. I'm displaying my screen now, so I can't, let me see if I can see people as well. Right. Nazim, I did see you there, all bright and shiny. Pumi, I saw you as well in the center of the screen, and Manda, welcome to you as well. So we have our panelists and we have our candidates.
Something's gone wrong with Mampemelela's screen or camera.
Yes, we're seeing an invisible person, Pumi.
It's not visible.
No, we can see it. We just can't see you. Pumi, look at your screen.
Pumi, it looks like you have a virtual background and yourself as well, and your live video. Switch one off.
Wonderful. Thank you, Susie.
Take the virtual background off.
Yes, please switch off the virtual background.
Oh, perfect earlier.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, so
hi.
Remain with your
going to use
laptop
my
camera.
phone. Pardon?
Pumi, look at your screen because you can see yourself in the screen.
Okay.
Because I'm sharing my screen. If you look down below Leila's face, you can see what we're seeing, and we're not seeing you properly. Firstly, we're only seeing half of your face. More. Perfect. Okay. And then lovely. And then the second thing is you still have some kind of background, and that is showing on your face.
Maybe she just needs to move away from the light background and go a bit.
No, she was using a screensaver background, and that's what we were seeing, like a
Yeah, as well. Yes, he's got that.
So if you can
I think
remove
Susie's
it.
correct. It's the lightness of the background as well. So I think you need to move
The
to a
two
darker
things.
background and then
Oh, I
remove
can remove
the
the darker
screensaver.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pumi, move out of the light as you are. Wonderful.
And you saw that bridge over troubled waters in the background.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Just one thing.
That's better.
Brilliant. Okay. So Pumi, if you just sit down, then we can see.
But you still have your virtual background. That's why it's making this shadow.
Susie, I'm trying now.
No, Pumi, switch off your virtual background and just leave your camera on, your laptop camera on, or your phone camera on, whatever you're using.
I think it's because she selected green screen as well. That's why.
You look like a negative of a picture, you know, a cold picture.
Yeah.
You look like a science fiction movie.
No negativity today, people. No negativity.
Susie, you just revealed your age. Wants to know the negative.
No, Suki. Of course, I wasn't born yesterday.
Oh my goodness, you guys are very funny. Manda, while Pumi is sorting out her screen, just you look at the screen as well. We can't see your face, so position yourself or your camera in such a way we can see your lovely face, and a bit in the middle would be perfect. Lovely.
Better.
Lovely. Yes.
Good morning,
Hey.
colleagues.
Good morning. How are you doing? There we go. Pumi, we're just seeing that lovely face and that beautiful smile.
Can we?
Say thank you to that colleague that helped us. Thank you, colleague. I hope he's a LIASA member. Okay, are we ready now? And I see you put your camera back on, please. And so I need the cameras on of the following people: Teresa, Zuki, Susie, and Muhari. And then Azim, Pumi, and Manda. Those are the 7 people. Then please, my electrical officer.
I can put my camera off now. I don't need my camera on anymore.
Okay, it's up to you.
Make sure that everything is set up. So good luck, everybody.
Thank you, Leila.
Okay, so
Thanks,
colleagues-
Leila.
Okay,
I'm muting myself now.
and I'm going to start. So just confirm that you can all see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Yes,
Brilliant.
thank you.
I can.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the candidates' debates. This is the first of its kind in LIASA, even though previously we have had quiz the candidate events. This is something that has been with me since I joined the EXCO in 2014. And my dream has finally come true in this regard. And I want to thank everyone involved. Amongst others, it would be Leila as the electoral officer, and Anna-Marie and the rest of the LIASA National Office colleagues, Lebo and Kagiso, for assisting in this regard, and to each and every one of you, and to the other members of the executive committee who have helped make this a reality, as well as the many people who have responded to our call to participate as panelists. Colleagues, LIASA has been around for many years. Just bear with me for a second. Beg your pardon. Colleagues, good governance is an indicator of a healthy organization, and good governance upholds the principles of legitimacy, credibility, and transparency. And those are some of the indicators that one will find in the King 4 principles of good governance, to which LIASA has aligned itself. My papers are all in a bit of a change now since our debate, so just bear with me again. Right. Let us reflect on our core values. Our global society is in a state of transition from the old normal to whatever the new way of doing things are going to be. We're still not sure about that. Likewise, LIASA is in an evolutionary and transitional state with our restructuring. And as we implement these changes in our professional body, and we traverse the implications of these changes, we need strong leaders. LIASA, in this time of change, what are the foundations? What are the core values that we hold on to? And in LIASA, those are the ones that you have seen at many presentations, in which I present to you today as something, the flagpole, if you like, the North Star, that which we hold on to, and that which we will look for in the candidates during the debates that take place today. I don't need to recount to you how difficult it was that many of us were not allowed to vote until 1994. And also the amount of effort, blood, and sacrifice that went into us obtaining that basic human right. And for us in LIASA to not make use of that is disrespectful. But we shouldn't vote for the sake of voting, colleagues. We vote for the betterment of LIASA. And so I appeal to you today, please don't vote for your friend because it's your friend or your best friend. Vote for the candidate that shows the best responses and seems to be the person best suited to take Liasa into a new unknown world. The restructure that Liasa is facing is a difficult road. And we need people who are able to walk us along that road with humor, with integrity, with confidence. We're not asking for people who know everything, but we're asking for people who are willing to learn and also to bring to bear their own expertise as we move through these difficult times. Enough has been said and discussed and debated about the challenges that Liasa faces, the lack of interest amongst the membership or lack of interest in the sector towards Liasa, despite Liasa being a professional body. So I wish each and every candidate that takes part in the debates today, I wish them well. And I ask you, please do the best you can for Liasa, because by doing so, you are helping all of us. Thank you. So colleagues, I'd like now to share with you the running order for the day and the way things are going to work. So I have opened with an introduction and a purpose of this event. I would ask you, thank you, Anna-Marie. I would ask for each, and we've already gone through the check, that each of the candidates and each of the panel members for the sessions, keep your camera on for the rest of the session. For everyone else, please, would you remove your switch off your cameras. The rules, colleagues. Yeah. Please, no personal attacks. Let us be respectful of each other. We are able to debate in a way, and we're able to say difficult things in ways that are respectful. Secondly, all your mics to be muted, please, and you will be unmuted when you need to speak or you are called on to speak. There will be strict time control for the candidates' responses. So candidates, please note the following. Each of you will be accorded 4 minutes for an opening statement. You will then receive questions from the panel in a particular order that will be determined by what is called a coin toss. It's an electronic way of just sticking your hand in a hat, and it's Leila's electronic hand that will go into the hat, and that will determine, number one, the order in which the panelists will ask their questions, and number two, the order in which the candidates will respond. We will also ask for questions from the audience, and it's 2 minutes. Each of you then will have 2 minutes to respond. And then there's a 1 minute rebuttal or opportunity to follow up. Colleagues, especially those from the audience, I would ask you to be succinct. Right? Please make your question as short as possible. We don't need background and explanation. Just speak as much as you need in order for clarity for the contestants, and so that they know what it is that you expect of them and how they could answer to satisfy your query. Is that clear, everyone? Candidates, especially? Pumi, I'm just looking at the order on my screen. I'm seeing Pumi, I'm seeing Zuki, I'm seeing Mukhadi. Susie, where are you?
I'm here.
Hang on. Ah, there you are. Lovely. Okay, so I see all of you. Do you all candidates, do you all understand what I've outlined now? Mukhadi, don't look great. Mukhadi, relax. Yeah. We're not going to kill any of you. We love you all. Okay. Same for you, Zooks, and you, Pumi. Okay, right. So in terms of timekeeping, Anna-Marie, I've completed my part of the session. So you can turn that horrible timer off. Right. So now it's over to our electrical officer, also known as Miss Leila, to do a live name draw for questions 1, 2, and 3. Right. So Leila, over to you. I'm going to turn my camera off now and mute as well.
Okay, the panelists were drawn already. For the secretary session, we will have Nazim ask his question first, followed by Nompumelelo, followed by Manda Hugh.
Thank you, Leila.
You know those people within Liasa. All the contestants' names are in this hat already. And once I have drawn the names, the first person will then come on automatically. You'll put your video on and your mic off and you'll start speaking and the order will follow. So there will be no need for Nikki to cut in between each 4-minute speaker. So here goes. Teresa comes first, followed by Zuki, followed by Rebecca, and of course, Susie. So thank you very much. That's the order.
Thank you, Leila. Nazim, is the timer set, Anne-Marie?
Yes, I think it's the opening statements first.
Thank you very much for that. So in the order that Leila has just mentioned now, which is, I repeat, Teresa de Young, Zuki Swamaya, Mukhadi Senyolo, Makwena Neo, Susan Yakali. Right, in that order, each of you has 5 minutes, I beg your pardon, each of you has 4 minutes to do an opening statement. So let us start with Teresa, please.
Okay, let's go. Good morning, everyone. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here and to be able to give my opening statement for Secretary of LIASA EXCO. I believe that the Secretary is the anchor of EXCO and of LIASA. It's the right hand of the entire EXCO. And the reason I say that is because if we don't have a secretary who has it all together and who keeps everything tied up together, the committee will be out of sorts. So the various skills that are required by a secretary that I believe I have are the following. So as the minute taker, the secretary has to have very good written and communication skills and to give an accurate account of what actually happens in the meetings or in the sessions that the secretary is recording. Then the secretary also needs to be able to be punctual with regards to sending out correspondence, circulating notices, circulating minutes, and be able to make sure that everyone gets all the information. The other role of the secretary, of course, as we all know, is to announce meetings. And I think that is really important also to be punctual in announcing meetings and to communicate timeously the notifications. But also the other important skill, as we all know, that I believe I have is that of calendar keeper. And that requires you to be very meticulous, to have a clear head, to be able to ensure that everything is updated all the time and to keep your hand on it. But I also believe that the secretary has to have a to-do list for everyone. So you can see what I mean when I say the secretary is an anchor. It's the anchor of EXCO. The clear communication skills also goes beyond LIASA and EXCO to the outside. So liaising and communicating with organizations outside of LIASA. I believe my skills match these skills. And I believe that I'm a homegrown LIASA secretary. It was my very first portfolio in SLIZIC when I joined in 2007. I was a SLIZIC secretary for 2 years. So I'm homegrown and I know exactly how LIASA works. I believe that that I'll be able to work very closely and very well with the LIASA, the office, the national office, because I understand how it operates. I also have the knowledge and skills of all the LIASA sectors, and I believe that makes me a strong team player on the LIASA EXCO because I have that background and I will be able to give input and give advice with regards to sector matters as well in meetings. I think that I am able to accurately record in issues and interpret issues from the sectors, and that strengthens me in the team. But what really appeals to me as being the secretary of LIASA EXCO is that I see the secretary as the librarian of EXCO. That means a reference service for EXCO, being able to give accurate information, to make decisions, going back and checking who was supposed to do what and when and how, responsibilities assigned. So I think the responsibility of the secretary is not just minute keeping, calendar keeping, sending out notices, communications, but it is also for the safekeeping and recording of organizational knowledge and intellectual property of LIASA. Thank you. The bong, the ring gave me quite a fright, by the way, just to warn the others.
Sorry about that. It is a very loud ring. Teresa, thank you very much. Can we go on to the next person, please? Suzuki Maya.
Good morning, colleagues, our panelists, fellow candidates, and the viewers at home. My name is Maya. Before we continue, it is from the Secretary's office to pass our words of condolences to the Nostelo family that they are currently holding their memorial services, and to our member institution, which is the University of Forte, and to all the female members that are here in our debate. As the secretary, yes, you are the engine of the organization. The institutional memory depends entirely to the Secretariat office. You should be the person, which I am, an independent person where you can advise when they need advice and where you are able to keep tabs with everyone and every portfolio. You are also the point of contact, though there is LIASA National Office, but as an organization, you are the point of contact. So you should be able to communicate well. That is a skill that I possess. That's why I see myself as a good candidate. And also you are beyond the keeping minutes and everyone, as my fellow colleagues has already said that, but it is about the institution and the value of the institution and be able that the members are able to communicate well with you. Though we do have branches, but the Secretariat has that role of making that everything is intact and the institution is well presented, keeping policies, also have the knowledge of the Constitution so that you can know when to do what. For instance, you should be able to know when the candidates' manifestos are uploaded on the website so that everyone is able. So you assist everyone that is in the EXCO. Yes, you should be very organized. You should know what needs to be done, and you should be able to have a character as a person that makes easy for everyone to work with you, though you are firm. That character must not make you lose your grip. So those are the skills that are needed. And also, you should have the problem-solving skills because there will be problems in the organization. Every organization grows with the problems, so you should be able to have that. And you must be a person that sacrifices. LIASA needs your resources, needs a sacrifice. I possess all those attributes that I have mentioned. As the secretary, also you need to be able to coordinate everything. The national office, they are there to assist you. So it's the secretary that needs to know when and what needs to be done in everything. So it goes beyond your ordinary admin when you are the LIASA National Secretary. I believe I am the candidate, so vote for Zuki Maya. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you very much, Suki Maya. We now go on to the next person who was drawn, and that's Mohadi Senyolo.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, my president. And it is my pleasure and honor to be here this morning to present myself. I thought I could speak from my heart. And I didn't want to dwell much on what the secretary's responsibility is all about, which we are all aware of. It has been circulated. But as a proud member of the LIASA professional body, PLSA, I believe that the secretary is not only the engine, it's actually the heart of the organization, because without secretary, everything stops. And the secretary should be somebody who's well organized, approachable, and keen to assist all the time. And I must say, you need to be persistent and very committed and have a passion to do all the work, because everybody else and everything else revolves around what you are supposed to do or what your responsibilities are as the secretary. And having worked or served as the National PRO and currently as the National Secretary of LIASA, there are these opportunities that I've gained the experience and the necessary skills that allows me to continue to serve as the secretary of the organization. And I've been working very closely with the LIASA National Office, because there are lots of other things that needs to be collaborated between the secretary and the LIASA National Office, including the entire executive committee. That means I will ensure that clear and consistent communication reaches all stakeholders and concerned parties, and that they adhere to meeting deadlines to avoid missing great opportunities. And in that way, one needs to be a persistent, as I said, and approachable person to encourage all active participation of members to set a good example for emerging librarians. As a secretary, you are sitting in the hot seat that you also work closely with the president. In fact, the president has to be kind of advised or be reminded of all the issues that she's or he is supposed to do, because and following the constitution and also the governance rules that it is governing us. So as the secretary of the SACCO approved professional association, I'll be collaborating more with the affiliated members to allow them to understand, to have a greater understanding of the association, because we lose members as well due to the low awareness of the importance of this association. So please vote for me again, and I will serve my institution or my association with my entirety, because LIASA is no longer a take it or leave it choice association, but you must belong to LIASA. It is a necessity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was Mukhadi Sinyolo. We now move on to the fourth candidate for the opening statement, and that is Makwena Neo Susie Nyakale, also known as Susie. Over to you, Susie. Hi, Susie, you need to unmute yourself and then start from the beginning.
I am sorry, I'm sorry. Good morning, everyone that is present in the room. Good morning, Nikki, my president. Good morning, Nazim. It's an honor to be here today. To be talking for myself as an ambitious secretary for LIASA. I believe that I have the passion that I have developed throughout my leadership roles that I have held in previous settings and previous number of organizations, not only just LIASA. Presently, I am the Gauteng North, and so as you might expect, I had to take all my my team on the executive on an induction, including that of a secretary. I had to induct the secretary to show them how things are working. When you are a secretary, what is it that you need to be doing? So I am well conversant with what the secretary should be doing, and I do have the attributes of being a good secretary. The roles that I have played previously in my line of job, in my social community, everywhere that I've been, have taught me the importance of being a servant leader. And in this case, serving LIASA will be to my best of my, will be a priority for me. It will be an essential part of my role as a liaison secretary. I will strive by all means to serve the association with transparency and always be accountable to the members. And being on the liaison national executive, for me, it does not, I don't see it as a job, but rather I see it as an honor that I'll be representing my profession, protecting the least sector's integrity, and also this opportunity will actually lead to my development as a member of LIASA who wishes and aspire to make a difference in the society and in the LIS community at large. So my goal is to put the interest of LIASA before my own. So that's what I will strive to do. And as a secretary, I will also strive to make sure that the communication between the national executive and the entire membership of LIASA in all the provinces is timeous and is efficiently executed, because no matter what the situation are, like we are now in the pandemic, one has to make some means to make sure that the communication does reach the members. So for me, leadership is about making others better as a result of the contribution and the support that I will be giving to my team in the executive, and also to the entire membership, and also to make sure that the impact that I make will last for a while to come. And now that as LIASA is embarking on restructuring, I'll take this as an opportunity for engagement and unearth maybe the new and the vast untapped potential in the young minds, new professionals that are coming through LIASA ranks with regards to being agents for change for the better. And I am actually looking forward to being part of the restructuring. I have been previously in the focus.
Sorry, Susie, you can finish that sentence, but otherwise, yeah. You want to finish that sentence? You back on mute.
Okay.
Back on mute.
Now, I was saying I was part of the focus group for LIASA restructuring, but at some point I had to pull out because I really needed to concentrate on running the North Gauteng branch. So that was all that I was going to say. Thank you so much for listening.
Susie.
Looking forward to it.
Right. Colleagues, you now see the seriousness within which we take this process, both in terms of allowing the candidates to present themselves, also the timekeeping. There is another element of related to this, and I'd like to share my screen with you for 1 minute. Just going back to the presentation, which of course now has disappeared. It's important, so just bear with me, please, colleagues. We'll try again. Right, found it. Right, can everyone see my screen? Can somebody see my screen?
Yes.
Right. Colleagues, I want to bring the attention of the audience to this slide. So any person who's interested in posing a question to the candidates, number 1, please enter your name. Number 2, your membership number into the chat box, and the office will verify that you are on the voters roll, and we will consider your question as time allows. Thank you very much. Right. Now, colleagues, we are going over to the next part of the event, which is the questioning by the panelists to the candidates. And in order to do that, Leila will do some more draws now to determine the order of the panelists. No, we have the order of the panelists, Leila. It's the order of the candidates. Is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you very much. Please, over to you.
Thank you. So all the same names are back in the hat and they will answer the first panelist in this order. Susie, you first, followed by Teresa, followed by Zuki. My screen's acting up. And then, of course, it's Rebecca. So over to you. You're muted, Nikki.
I know I accidentally switched it on. Thank you very much, Leila. Now, just to remind everyone what Leila had shared with us previously, that the draw had been made in terms of the order of the panelists, and the order is Nazim, Pumi, and then Manda. So Nazim, over to you for the questions to the panelists, please.
Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here and part of this process, which I think is really important, and hats off to everybody who's managed to pull it off. So my question to the candidates is as follows. Would you agree that the secretary position is one of the most important portfolios, and why? You all have the order in which you have to answer.
Yes.
So please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Nazim. Yes, Yes, Susie answering here. Yes, I do believe that the secretary's portfolio is very important because now the secretary holds all the information. So the information and the knowledge management skills should be precise, and that the secretary is an anchor supporting both the president and supporting both the pro and as well. So the secretary should be there to be able to build onto the memory by capturing everything that is being said, everything that is being implemented, so that in future one can go back to look back at what has been captured, what has been done, and what has been said. And also, yes, I believe that it is an important portfolio, because as a secretary, you really need to have the energy, to be not to relent, to be also not just a minute taker, but also contributing your ideas that will in later stage also record, and that will form part of the decisions that are taken by the committee as a whole. So the secretary's position is very important, and you need somebody who is not forgetful, somebody who is not slacking, somebody who is on top of their games, possesses never-ending energy like I do. I have a lot of energy. So but yes, it should be somebody who can also contribute and make a solid contribution to the society and be able to build on those ideas of everybody. Thank you.
Well done, Susie. You beat the timer this time. Teresa?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Teresa.
Thank you. Well, of course, I'm going to say the secretary is very, very, very important position in EXCO, Nazim. That is why I accepted the nomination for secretary. I believe that the secretary is also, I haven't mentioned this before, but it's the watchdog. It's the watchdog of EXCO. So watching who needs to do what needs to be done, who is not doing what they're supposed to do, and going to tell the president, look, this guy's not doing his role or whatever. And as Zuki said, or was it Susie said, the anchor, and that's what I said earlier too, it's the anchor of EXCO. But I think it's very important to see the secretary, as I said earlier, as the librarian of EXCO. But most importantly, and I'm glad you asked this question, the secretary, yes, is very, very important, because the secretary is like the mother of EXCO. Now, we all know if our mothers are not there, what happens? The family falls apart. So I believe that as the mother, the secretary is there to nurture EXCO, to ensure that things grow, ensure that everything is fed into EXCO, feeding them information, feeding them all kinds of information that they would need to make decisions. And our mothers bring us up that way. They give us that, you know, they prepare us, they nurture us to deal with life. And so, yeah, my 30 seconds is left. Just to finish off about the mother, it's there to correct us when it's necessary. So that's another reason why secretary is important, to keep us all accountable. My mother watches me and she tells me when I'm wrong and when I haven't done what I have to do. And then, of course, as I said, to keep EXCO together, to keep it as one, to make sure that we speak as one, as a family. And not, you could actually stretch it out to Liasa as a whole.
Well done, Teresa, coming in before that horrible timer. Thank you very much for your response. We now go over to Suki. Suki, your response starts now.
Thank you, President-elect. Yes, Secretary is important. The Secretariat is the pillar of the organization or of that committee. And it's not just bringing support, but the Secretariat is also responsible to initiate what will benefit the organization. The Secretary or Secretariat's desk is the point of contact of the organization. Somehow it becomes the face of the organization. That's why if we see all those that have been the Secretariat, they contain the name of being SG. In other organizations, we do not even know who is the president, but we all know who is the secretary of that organization. It's because it's the face. And now as the face of the organization, you need to know everything that is happening. And it is unfortunate that sometimes you have to go beyond your comfort zone and you have to go beyond the point of duty, if there is anything like that, because there is nothing like that in Secretariat. Your meeting starts before everyone starts and ends after everyone has ended. That's your duties and their responsibility. So you need the energy that Susie spoke about. You need to be resilient. You need to be able to know policies, constitution of the organization and everything. And if you are able to even know some and all of your members so that they all feel comfortable, as the mother that Teresa has said, when they come to talk to you, they must be able to get answers and responses as they desire. Thank you, President-elect.
Thank you very much, Suki. Now we go on to our last candidate, which is Mukhadi Senyolo. Mukhadi, your responses to the question, please. Starts now.
Thank you, my President. Thank you, my President-elect, with that question. It is very important. As the Secretary oversees the efficient administration of and compliance of the association. So not only that the minutes and all the other reports and documentations are for the Secretary to just take, but also to ensure the continuation and reference made to the meetings and all the discussions that would have taken place. The Secretary is the primary source of advice, I must say, because as some would call the officer of the association, and as others have already said, is the front of, or the front person. So as a Secretary, you ensure that the Executive Committee or Representative Council's procedures and all the regulations are reviewed and are followed, because they may have meetings and at the end of the day, if they are not following the regulations of the association, then the Secretary has to advise on that. And the Secretary has to provide the Executive Committee with guidance as to their duties, their responsibilities, and their powers as on the portfolios that they serve on the association. The Secretary collaborate, share, disseminate information accordingly, and all that, and he or she forms part of the decision making of the association. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mukhadi. Back over to Leila now. We know that our second panelist is Pumi, but Leila needs to draw the order of the candidates for their responses to question number 2. Over to you, Leila.
No, there's an opportunity for a 1-minute rebuttal from anyone at this point.
Oh, thank you.
Based on what anyone else was saying.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you for reminding me about that.
In the same order that they were already chosen.
Certainly. So, colleagues, just to say each of you now has 1 minute in which you might want to respond to what other candidates might have said, or use your minute as you see fit. Back to you, Susie, with your mic on, please.
Thank you, Nikki. Well, what I can just say is to wrap up what I've said and what my other contestants have said is that we look like we know what the secretaries must be doing, and with a little bit of the Liasa way induction, I'm sure everyone will do it, can do it, but we do concur that the secretary is the important position of the organization. And for myself, I like to be a part of it and to see this restructuring going forward. And I'm hopeful that I'll be able to learn even more now that we talked about the secretary and then the secretariat, then just to extend my knowledge on that. I see that as an opportunity to be growing into the responsibilities as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susie. If Anna-Marie, you could reset the timer for Teresa, please.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to say that to wrap up on my side, I think the secretary, yes, some people have alluded to the fact that the secretary in some organizations, they have really important titles like Secretary General of the United Nations. And that in itself tells you how important the secretary is. And I think each and every one of us here that are candidates, yes, we are able to do the job, but I think it takes the passion of that Liasa member that has that feeling, that feeling of being part of Liasa. I think that is very important for the secretary, because as secretary, you are going to have to work with the other EXCO members. And so I'd like to say that I must admit I haven't seen the secretary of EXCO in action, but from what I know from the secretary of SLISIG, it's a lot of work and you need to be prepared for that, yes.
I was just waiting for that sound to dissipate to say thank you, Teresa, and over to Zuki, please.
Thank you, President. As a secretary, one needs to be very committed and be a confidential person, because yes, it is public documents, but when it comes to the meetings and discussions, there are things that needs to be kept in that, though they are minuted. For instance, if we are thinking of having someone as a speaker, if it's not yet agreed, there's no need that you contact that speaker. So for me, the integrity is something that that the secretary need to have. As a watchdog, one of my colleagues said that it should be only first displayed by you and be able to have to know the organization and to well your stakeholders, because they are part of the whole picture. I'm excited to be the part of the restructuring because it presents new opportunities.
Thank you, Zuki. Over to you, Mukhadi.
Communication and correspondence is the key, as the secretary acts as a reference point for the president and to ensure that all responsibilities are met. That's all I can say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rebecca. Now, Ms. Leila, is it okay if I hand back to you?
Yes, it is okay. Have all 4 candidates had their rebuttal? I lost count at some point.
All 4 candidates have had their rebuttal.
Okay, then we go back to my hat, and the next panelist is Nompumelelo. Candidates will answer in this order. Teresa. Susie.
Leila, we're not seeing your screen, eh?
Okay, Rebecca, sorry,
Mm.
but I'll carry on.
Don't worry, I got it.
Zuki.
Right, so just to confirm, colleagues, the order of response to the question that Mpumelelo will pose in a few minutes, in a few seconds, honestly, is number 1, Teresa, followed by Susie, followed by Rebecca, followed by Zuki. Thank you very much.
I apologize that my screen wasn't on, but I can assure you that's how they came out.
No, we believe you. I heard the tingling sound. If it wasn't for the tingling sound, we might have a problem. Right. So, Pumi, where are you?
I'm here.
Ah, I see you. So please, would you go ahead, pose your question to the candidates, please?
Good morning, colleagues. My question goes as follows. What do you think are the 3 key responsibilities as secretary? Furthermore, how do you distinguish between the functions of the secretary and secretariat?
Thank you very much, Pumi. So colleagues, again, in the order, I'm going to repeat this. Teresa, followed by Susie, followed by Zuki, followed by Rebecca. Right, please, would you go ahead? First candidate, Teresa.
Okay. All right, so you're asking for the 3 key responsibilities of the secretary. I think the first one is to ensure that all meetings are minuted and that minutes are sent out. So it's a meeting responsibility. The second, and I think going with that is ensuring that meetings are recorded accurately and that minutes are sent out timeously. Then I think another key responsibility of the secretary is to ensure that all meetings are called on time and that all and to get RSVPs and ensure that the follow up on people about whether they will be at the meeting and to send out them. Of course, I said send out the minutes. And then a third key responsibility, I think, of the secretary would be to pull the loose ends together within EXCO to ensure that everybody is doing what they are supposed to do, to be the reminder for everyone. Because the president-elect cannot remember everything. And I think it's very key that the secretary knows exactly what's going on in the organization, exactly what decisions were made, and exactly who has to do what in order to keep things flowing properly. So yeah, that's the first question. Well, I don't have much time. The second part was the function of the secretary and the secretariat. I think the secretary is the person. It's the person's skills. I think it's the person who is going to go out there and say, hey guys, the meeting is taking place during this time and this time and that time. I think that the secretariat is there to ensure that everything happens properly, to follow the rules. So for me, those are the two main difference between the two. I think secretariat is a function of a secretary.
Thank you, Teresa. The next person is Susie.
Yes, thank you, Ms. President. The three key responsibilities of a secretary is to make sure that meetings are efficiently organized and they are minuted, and also to liaise with the president or the chair of the meetings to make sure to plan the meetings, also to maintain the records and administer them effectively, and to communication and correspondence with the members and with everybody. And yeah, to add to that, they make sure that the legal requirements are met. That's what I'd say. And as far as the difference between secretary and secretariat, I'd say a secretary is a person, and it's a person who is entrusted with the running of the organization, of the executive committee, and also with the secrets behind it that has to be discreet. Whereas I can say the secretariat is actually an office comprising of a number of people within that office that makes sure that the organization runs smoothly and efficiently. It's not just one person, but it's an office but a number of people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susie. We're over now to our third person in the draw, which is Rebecca. Over to you, Rebecca.
We might sound like a broken record, but we are talking about the same portfolio here. And the three key responsibilities, of course, is communication and correspondence to the association. And of course, to ensure that meetings are well planned and organized and taking minutes thereof, and then to maintain the effective records and administration of all that is happening within the association, and to prepare some reports, writing reports, and also to assist, as I said, working closely with the president and the entire executive committee. The secretariat and the secretary is the portfolio, meaning to for a person who holds the administrative responsibilities to run the office or the association. And the secretariat is the entire administrative portfolio that is not for the person, but it is the duties that are done within the office setup. I'll say that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. And now our candidate to come up next is Suki. Suki, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. The secretary, their key responsibilities, I have I divided them into three categories, one being the meeting duties, and two organizational matters, and three that communication. So on the first one is when the secretary makes sure that everything that has been planned is executed in terms of meeting, that they are issued out notices, minutes are taken, attendance registered being filled, and everything that needs to be done is done. Where it needs to be quorum are formed, then there will be quorums, and everything, documents are signed for the meeting after the minutes have been agreed to. Then in terms of organizational matters, is when now you have already out of the meeting, but now where you need to keep all those things as a memory of the institution, and you make sure that everything, policies, constitution, and every document that is related to the organization is well kept, whether is it virtually or not. And three, communication, you must be able to communicate with every member. Second question, yes, secretary is Zuki, the human being that you see, and then the secretariat are the duties that needs, is the office and office staff, and the portfolio of that organization, where the documentation, guidelines, everything are kept. That is the office of the secretariat. The duties that the person performed that is the secretary. Thank you.
Thank you, Suki. Colleagues, we have now finished the 4-minute opening statements, or I beg your pardon, the 2-minute responses to the question from panelist number 2. You now have a 1-minute rebuttal in the same order. The order is Teresa, Susie, Zuki, I beg your pardon, Teresa, Susie, Rebecca, and Zuki. So please, would you kick off and then the one follow the other? Thank you. So first up, Teresa.
Okay, I'd like to respond to everyone in just saying that I think that the secretary, we need to not look past the kind of, not just the skills, but the type of person the secretary should be. I think it's really important that that person is trustworthy and reliable, because you sit with all the information confidential and not of what is being said and what is minuted and what is in the meetings. I also think that we also mustn't look past the advisory role of the secretary within EXCO. I think that's really, really important to have a good advisor. As I said, the librarian of EXCO, the good reference service. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, Teresa. Over to you, Susie, with your mic on.
Thanks again, Ms. President. I still believe that the secretary must be an anchor to the chair, in this case, to the president and the president-elect, but also to help with the PRO to distribute that information, to communicate what the public relation officer is trying to do, to communicate it to the relevant stakeholders and to the members. And of course, keeping efficient records is very key to the portfolio of a secretary. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susie. Over to Rebecca.
The secretary should be an approachable person who knows the organization or the association very well, because any question can be posed to the secretary and the members expect knowledge related to that very person. And also to encourage members to honor the invitations when they are called for important meetings to discuss what is really issues that are affecting their association. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Over to you, Suki.
Thank you, sir. The secretary is not just a supporting role, but secretary is the leader in his or her own role. That's why the leadership attributes also need to be possessed by the secretary, because it's not only supporting. Secretary, if we look on the ordinary leadership and the management roles, those are the roles, attributes that secretary must also have. When it came to skills, for me, the planning skill and the organization skill is the key. When it also came to, as a person, as an attribute, a person, you need to keep the integrity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Suki. Over to you, Leila, for the order for the third panelist question.
Thank you. All the names are back in the hat. So, Susie, you're going first. Teresa, second. Rebecca, third. And of course, Suki, finally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leila. Over to you, Manda. Please, would you pose your question to the panelists?
Morning, colleagues. My question to the candidates are the following. What experience do you bring to the secretary portfolio?
Thank you, Manda. And now, Susie, over to you.
Thank you very much, Manda, for the question. As I mentioned in my opening statement, that it is a leadership role. It is not just a matter of taking minutes and correspondence, but you need to be a leader. So my role, what I'm bringing to the committee, to the executive committee, will be my leadership skills, my organizational skills. As I said that I have learned a lot through my leadership roles that I've played in different settings, either of the organization, of my community, in the society, at my work. That's all I did. So one of the strong attributes that I'll be bringing is just to be is to also coordinate. You know, when you coordinate tasks, you coordinate the around you to make sure that things that have been decided upon are effectively implemented and implemented the way they should be. It was decided that they're going to be implemented. So I'm bringing that key skill of being a leader and make sure that we keep the flock together and keep everything together in the office. And of course, maintain a happy office, ever smiling office. And yes, I'm also bringing my knowledge of Liasa, of whatever thing I have learned, and also this bountiful energy that I keep praying that it doesn't wear off, so that I'm able to continue with what I'm supposed to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susie. Over to you, Teresa.
Okay, that's 5 seconds. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, so what do I bring worth for the portfolio of secretary? Well, as I said in my manifesto, I bring 14 years of knowledge on the Liasa structures, 4 of them as a secretary in an interest group. I have thorough knowledge of Liasa, of all the sectors, and I think that is a huge asset to be on EXCO and have knowledge of all the sectors, especially as a secretary. I'm a really, really good team member. I think some of the people in this session can vouch for that. I have really good interpersonal skills, verbal and written, which a secretary really, really needs. And I think what is most important of all, I'm very flexible and I make time when it's absolutely necessary to be at meetings. And I think I know of people that say they're on Liasa structures and they say, I can't be at the meeting because I'm on leave today. And that is not the kind of person I would hope a Liasa EXCO secretary would be. So I'm really committed to Liasa and I am flexible and I believe that that's what I bring with me to be as the secretary of Liasa EXCO. Yeah.
Thank you, Teresa. Over to you, Rebecca.
Thank you. What I'm bringing to the portfolio is that first, as I indicated, I'm an affiliated member of Liasa since its inception, and I've been a member of Representative Council since 2004. So therefore, I've served in various portfolios at Liasa branch level, including that of chairperson and the secretary. And I have served also at the national level as the national PRO and the current national secretary, which offered me this opportunity to gain experience and the necessary skills that is required by this very present portfolio. So I also served as the secretary locally and nationally for my church for 18 years. And as an academic librarian, I have acquired and sharpened my computer skills, enabling me to search effectively for information. So I will do my utmost best to represent Liasa through my role and continue to pursue matters of importance to members and the association. So what I'm bringing is that I'm an energetic person and a very passionate person to my association that I'm proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Over to you, Suki.
Thank you, Chair. On the portfolio, yes, I am bringing experience of being a secretary. I have served as a secretary in different organizations that go beyond Liasa. I've served on those organizations like Black Management Forum, or from the local branch to provincial branches. I have served in organization of youth in my church, and that is like our SADC region. I have served more than 2 terms. I've been elected there. So I know Secretariat. I also have served in different Liasa structures from the provinces, interest groups in the national. I've also served on the legal deposit committee, that also in the lease sector. So I do bring that experience even on my work. I am in a management position. So delegation and keeping people on toes and knowing what needs to be done and communicating with people. That is the experience that I have and the skills that I have. As serving in LIASA, I served as a legal coordinator and branches that have given me an opportunity to work with branches and interest groups. So I do understand, yes, we are changing, but how the membership, our membership, I understand how they work and how they are. That gives me an opportunity to know LIASA. I also, as a middle life librarian, bringing energy from my youthful life and also looking forward to the next level of my experiences as I grow older, coming to the age of Nikki's and other people. So I bring hope to the younger generation also that
That's what you get for calling the president old, Suki. Right, 1 minute rebuttal now, colleagues, in the same order. So it's Susie, Teresa, Rebecca, and Suki. You have 1 minute to rebuttal to respond to what the other candidates have said and anything else you'd like to add. Over to you, Susie.
Okay. Thank you. In addition to everything that everyone has said, I also see one has to have a good eye for details. One has to be well organized, and one has to have an orderly mind and not be just a scatterbrain, so that things will flow in order. But by that, one needs to identify and methods, to be methodical about how things are going to be run, so that you don't waste a lot of time fluffing around, not knowing where to go. And so a person of this caliber, of this portfolio, has to know avenues where assistance will come from and rely on that and make very good use of that. So one needs to be sharp on their methods of doing things and just have an orderly brain. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Susie, Teresa, over to you.
Okay. Am I on? Yes. So what I'd like to say is that, yes, we've all mentioned all of these skills and all of these abilities that we need to be secretary of LIASA Exco. But I think that what we mustn't forget is that somebody that serves on any portfolio in LIASA, on any portfolio in an NGO, is a certain type of breed of person. And I think we mustn't forget that people who volunteer for organizations such as LIASA, they are committed to what they are doing because they're doing it out of love for what they're doing, out of passion for that. And that's why I think anybody in any of the portfolios that are going to be on Exco has to have that certain kind of personality, certain kind of volunteerism, kind of skills and abilities and wanting to do it. So the passion, yes, I'd just like to make that clear. Thanks.
Thank you, Teresa. Over to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Madam President. I think LIASA needs someone who will work more and take responsibility. Someone who is dedicated and committed. Someone who is passionate to help other people to realize the value of and the benefit that LIASA brings into their professional life. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Over to you, Suki.
Thank you, Madam President. I am bringing passion. I am bringing myself. That means I will be very committed to the portfolio. And also I'm bringing respect and integrity to all members. Yes, one of my colleagues mentioned that as a secretary, we must also work as a PRO. So I am also bringing that recruitment avenue, that as a role model of younger colleagues. Yes, I do recruit them to be the members of LIASA and also coach them and assist them where it is necessary. And also I'm bringing my resources, my time, my everything. I'm sacrificing it for LIASA. Thank you. And I am sacrificing that for my own also benefit as a professional. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Suki. Thank you to all the contestants, all the panelists, the candidates section, and the panelists. We are now, colleagues, it is 12:16. This meeting was scheduled to end at 12:15, but we do know that we started 10 minutes later. So I ask everyone to bear with us for the next 10 minutes. We've come to the part of the candidates debate event where we take questions from the floor, and there were 3 people who are verified LIASA members. Thank you very much. Who wish to pose questions, colleagues, to the people from the floor, the audience. Please be brief, and to the panelists, you have 1 minute each to respond. Leila, are we going to draw another order for response, or are we going to work with the current order?
We'll draw another set, but it'll be for, are you taking 3 questions or 2 questions based on time?
It depends on the time available. I'm going to start with 2 questions. And if time allows, then we can take the 3rd question. I'd like to take all 3, but we can't go over time.
1 minute answer time?
1 minute answer time. And Leila, I think draw the order of the panelists for all 3 questions now, because that will allow for 3 questions. Yeah?
Yes.
I'm sure the candidates, the panelists, not the panelists, the candidates won't mind the order, because there's been a fair draw of responses to date.
Yes, so this will be for all.
This is for all 3 questions coming up, colleagues. Firstly, Rebecca. Then Susie. Thank you, that's Zuki, and number 4 would then be Teresa. Thank you, Leila. So colleagues, let me go over to the order in which the questions were asked. Spondo, you have a question. You're a verified LIASA member. Thank you very much, Sisi. Would you put your camera on, please? And would you pose a question to the candidates?
Good afternoon, colleagues. I will have a question for the 4 candidates. What is the plan for keeping the members that are already registered? There are those members in the profession who sometimes register and then in the following year saying that they've forgotten everything. How to keep them as a secretary, or how to communicate with them to make them to know that you have be registered each and every year. As you said that all of you said you are the engine of the association. Now that you are the engine of association, how to bring them back, how to make them to be committed, how to make them to be also another thing, to coach those who are not fully have that information that you are having as the team, as the candidate, because all of them, I believe that you've got experience of the association. How to transfer those experience of you to those other people that are not, that are less experienced. Thank you.
Okay. Toto, I can't see your face, Sisi. Show us your beautiful face.
Can I excuse not to see my face today? Thank you.
Sure, but I want to check with the panelists. I beg your pardon, I keep on saying that. I want to check with the candidates. Are you all clear on Toto's question? Toto asked 2 questions. Number 1, how do you keep membership? And number 2, how would you coach membership? Are you all clear on that?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Then in the following order, Rebecca, Susie, Zuki, and Teresa. Your responses, please. You have 1 minute each. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. And thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Toto, for your question. Yes, I'm actually doing that in my current profession. In actual fact, in my profession, I do send out correspondence information that comes either from the branch or from national to my institutional members to encourage them to join or renew their membership. In fact, this morning I was even talking to my colleagues and finding out if they have renewed and if they are able to vote. I'm also, I do coach, I've been coaching even the interns to join LIASA because it is in their right to join through the professional body. I also talk to people that are retired or having to retire to encourage them to do that, because we appreciate the fact that we are an association, but we don't have more members. So to increase our membership, which is low, I do encourage that through writing to them, talking to them. And
thank you, Rebecca. Over to you, Susie.
Thank you, Madam President. To answer to Koko's questions, I can say that I am the living testimony of what LIASA has done for me and how I have contributed to LIASA. So I use that to my advantage, and to coach the new professionals that are coming, especially that are coming in, working in my institution. I do a lot of advocacy about LIASA, some of which I make sure that they register, because I even go to the office to register for themselves on my own when you go to the meetings. Also, I use an opportunity for the final year students, information science students, to talk about LIASA there, and to advocate for LIASA, to encourage them to when they get into the market, to become members even before they find a job, but to become members of LIASA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. Over to you, Suki.
Thank you. For me, is to have the LIASA should have an induction process or program that is well organized from the Office of the Secretariat, where that is done for all members, then where we will know our responsibilities. And yes, reminders should be sent to all the members that now it's due for you to register, to renew your membership. In terms of coaching, this one is one thing that we should do it intentionally. I think a member, if we can have a program, the member can also write that I aspire, or my role model is so and so in the organization. Then the Office of the Secretariat will link the role model and the mentee, so that we have a program that we know. Maybe in each year we have 10 that we do. We should not do it haphazardly, but it's from the Office of the Secretary that should be organized.
Thank you, Suki. Over to you, Teresa.
What I'd like to say is, in order to keep members, as a secretary, you are working as part of our committee, work very closely with LIASA National Office and the membership secretary in LIASA. And I think that it's important for us to look at the younger members and try to understand what it is that they need to be reminded to renew their membership. I think that there's a lot of confusion, and I noticed that at conference we have a session for new members, but I don't think that is enough. I think we need to have more sessions now that we have Zoom, etc., for new members in order to coach them to understand LIASA. We need older members to explain the organization and how it works, so that there's no confusion afterwards. And I think it's not just the role of the secretary, it's the role of EXCO and each and one of us in LIASA, because we are LIASA.
Thank you very much, Teresa. I'd like now to go to the next member of the audience, who is a verified member of LIASA, Letabo Ledwaba. Letabo, would you put your camera on, please, and pose your question to the candidates?
Okay, thank you very much, President, for the opportunity, and thank you to all the nominees for your inspiring debates, and of course, willing to serve this mighty organization that is very important. And we all agree that the secretary is the engine. Someone said it's the heart of the organization. So I would like to know from you, how are you going to encourage young LIS professionals to participate in the LIASA activities? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Letabo, for an important question. In the same order, Rebecca, Susie, Suki, Teresa. Rebecca, your 1 minute starts now.
Thank you, Letabo, for that question. To encourage the young upcoming librarians is to make sure they are aware of who LIASA or what LIASA is. Talk to them, find out from the LIS schools, and then get their list and then talk to them. we've got the student chapter now. You can talk to them via that. And also that when you manage to have an opportunity to have the interns within your organization, you have to grab them while they are starting to inform them and talk to them about what LIASA is and what are the benefits of them joining LIASA as the professionals. So there are many ways of doing that, but if there are staff meetings, you are able to also ask for a slot to talk to them and encourage all members or upcoming members to join LIASA. I hope I've answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Susie, over to you.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Letabo, for the question, which is quite similar to what Gogo has asked. But yeah, to make people to understand the importance of participation is to really be an example of that. Show them how you participate and how did you get to do that, and then what has it brought up to you? What has it done for you? So in my case, I do speak to our interns that are coming to the institution to work. I'm talking to the students. I'm also talking to new professionals that have started. I even recruit some to even serve in the committee on an observation status or as an additional member, so that they learn how things are happening in LIASA and what LIASA is all about. We also do career expos where we do have sessions.
Thank you, Susie. Zuki, over to you.
Okay, this for me, it's twofold. There are students that have not yet working, but they are upcoming. There we need to organize events and things that works to them. For instance, having a career guidance when you're a public librarian, what is it that you do? And now, if you are a LIASA member, this is what you have to do, but we need to believe in testimony. We need to ask directors and everyone to donate money that they can register for those students. And for the upcoming one that are already members, we need to give them something to do. They can model and be attached and assigned certain other functions, not that you are in the committee only to do, but to keep them busy and also appreciating that they are here and they have value. Thank you.
Thank you, Suki. Over to you, Teresa.
Okay, for me, I think the young professional librarians are the future of LIASA. And we need to seriously look at catching them when they are little. And by that I mean in the library schools. I think the library schools need to be part of LIASA and a huge part of LIASA. We're missing the boat. I don't see any time here. Sorry, I'm just going to speak forever. So I also believe that we need to be more approachable for these young people. We don't need them to see us as Madam President up there and the exco up there in the sky. And, you know, we need to be much more approachable for the young people. The young people I've spoken to have always told me that they are in awe of LIASA and the LIASA exco. And I think as if I'm part of exco, I would want to be part of an exco that's on the ground and with the members and not pie in the sky. I don't see the timer.
Teresa, thank you very much. I also didn't see the timer, but I think you spoke for a minute, and I also get a sense that you've completed. Am I right?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Colleagues, we have one more person who asked to take a question, to provide a question from the floor, but we have run out of time. We started 10 minutes later, and we are now over that extra time. So I'd like to close this meeting, please. Colleagues, the energy, the camaraderie, the love for LIASA, the dedication, the commitment, the passion was all evident in the debate today. To those who have not yet voted, we hope that we planned this event for you so that you could have a considered approach to decide whom to vote for. If you look at the candidates who have availed themselves, you can't go wrong by voting for any of these good LIASA members. However, we are looking for the best person for the job, and they have put themselves forward and they presented themselves. It's for you to decide now how much you take on board around their presentations. I reiterate my plea to you, please don't vote for your best friend just because. The candidates have presented themselves and put a lot of their time and energy into showing their commitment to Liasa as well as their plans for contributing to a better Liasa. Let us respect them and those efforts by at least applying our minds to the decision-making around the candidates. To the candidates themselves, we pray for strength for you. We trust that you will live up to the promises that you have made in this debate should you be elected. And we wish you and we give you our very best wishes. Thank you, everyone. This debate is now closed. Good luck.
Please vote, 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 vote.
Thank
for
you.
us. Vote.